Well, it's officially summer, which means it's officially rosé season. So here with a little lesson in rosé is wine expert Lori Budd. And I think that we're in the official rosé season because it's summer and that's when I drink it by the pool. But you say we should drink rosé all year long.
I do. You know, somehow people think once we hit Memorial Day
Yes.
and first day of summer, it is officially rosé season. But there is nothing wrong with drinking rosé all year long.
I think it's delicious. My boyfriend calls it fake wine, and we're here to tell him that that is not true.
Right.
So how do we make rosé?
So rosé can be made really in 3 different ways.
Okay.
The first one, which isn't very common here in the United States, is literally just mixing red wine and white wine. Okay? And that is very foo-fooed upon, right? We don't like that.
Yeah.
However, that's how champagne is made. And people love champagne. And that is the process, taking red wine, blending it with white wine.
I had no
Pinot
idea.
Noir with Chardonnay, right? That's how we get it.
Okay.
Second way to make it is called saignée, and saignée is French for bleeding.
Okay.
And so what that means is that you're taking your red fruit and you're processing it as red fruit, but you're bleeding off some of the juice to give you a rosé wine, plus darkening the red wine that you're going to sell. So 2 products, one harvest.
Oh, okay. So that would be a red grape then.
Yes.
Okay.
Rosé is
It's
made
all
from
red
grapes, right?
Oh, okay. But it will give you 2 different wines.
Right.
Oh,
so
interesting.
you're picking to be a red wine,
Okay.
but you're bleeding off, so you get a rosé, and you kind of enhance the color of your red wine that you are producing.
Oh, interesting.
The third way is called direct press.
Okay.
And in that case, you're harvesting fruit specifically to be a rosé. So typically earlier than you would if it was just the red grape variety.
Okay.
And then you're producing this rosé only, and then that's it. You're not getting 2 products. You're just making that rosé.
And so because you pick that grape earlier in the harvest, it will yield a lighter color, or it will yield a different wine than if you were to do it later.
It will yield a different wine
Got
because
it.
you're picking it to be the rosé, so it's typically higher in acid.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of why rosé wines typically have that higher acid.
That's why I like it, because I like that acidic. It's sort of tart, and I like that part of it. All right, let's taste one, and we'll talk more about rosé. So which one do we want to taste first?
So we're going to start off with Seashell Cellars, and we have. The way we get a rosé wine is leaving the juice on the skins.
Right.
So as you can see, we have an array of different colors. All this means is that we are keeping it on skins at different times.
Okay.
So this first wine is Seashell Cellars. All 3 of these wineries are from Paso Robles. Okay.
And this one's very light.
Very light. Now this is 100% Grenache.
Oh, okay.
And Seashell Cellars produces about 2,000 cases of wine a year, and they are all estate fruit.
Oh, that's so good.
And this is 100% Grenache.
And estate means that they grow the grapes on the property that they make the wine.
Yes, that they own the property.
They own those.
They own that
Got it.
property. So I can have my winery in one location and a vineyard in another location, and it's still considered estate because I own it.
My grapes, I'm not buying them from somebody else.
Correct.
Where do we get most of our rosé wines from?
So the largest amount of rosé wine is actually produced in France.
Oh, okay.
But here in the United States, we can make it anywhere that we like. All it is producing, taking the color from those skins and putting it on the juice. So watching how long it sits on the skins pulls that amount of juice out.
Okay, let's try the next one.
All right. So I've got to.
Oh yeah, she has to. I'm a little fast on the drink there.
All right. So as I was saying, Seashell is all estate.
Okay.
Here we have Stilson Cellars, and this wine just cracks me up because if you can see the label, if you can see the label, it is very closely. We'll put it there.
I love that.
Okay. So this wine actually was started because, and it's a little sarcasm, a little joke, and that's what I love, is so Deb Stilson is the owner with her 2 sons, Cole and Tyler, and they didn't really want to make a rosé, but the vineyard manager, Deb's partner, he was like, you need to make a rosé, you need to make a rosé. So after, I think, 2 years of haunting them to make a rosé, they very jokingly said, fine, but we're going to call it Rosé Ray after you. Okay? So they took a picture of him without his hat on, his bald head.
Oh my God, that's so
and
funny.
they tattooed roses all over his face
I love that
to
label.
make this wine.
I would
right?
buy that wine just based off the label. Okay, so this one is a little bolder than the last one. This one's very light, and this one is a little more robust.
So this is 100% Grenache. This is Syrah, 93% Syrah and 7% Grenache. So that Syrah is going to be a bigger wine.
Yes, it's definitely a much bigger wine. How does the climate, how does the soil determine what rosé we get?
So, as I said, these are all from Paso, and this is interesting because this is actually from the Estrella district, so a warmer district. This is Adelaida district, so that's actually a cooler district. And then the last wine, Dracaena Wines, is actually from the Templeton Gap. So all of these climates are going to change what fruit you're going to grow in there, how the fruit grows. But it's up to each winemaker to decide when they're going to harvest it, what color they're looking for, what varieties that they want in there.
Okay, well, finish your last one. I want to drink this last one. This is Dracaena, and we haven't had Dracaena on here in a long time. That's your wine.
That is our wine.
So how many wines, how many cases do you guys produce a year?
So we are at about 400. We are the tiniest of this group. So
I love it, though.
Seychelles is 2,000. Stilson is about 800, and we are about 400.
But if you get something from that boutique of a winery, you know that you're getting something really special and that took a lot of hard work. And it almost reminds me of the wine that you brought from Ireland, where we saw pictures of this guy pressing the strawberries, and I'm meeting the scientist behind this wine. So you know that it took a lot of care into it. Okay, so how do you guys make this one?
So this rosé is a direct press, so it is picked specifically to be a rosé, and this is a 50-50 blend of Grenache and Tempranillo. So you can see Grenache is kind of a common theme
here. That is so easy to drink.
Yes.
I like this one.
Right?
This one could be definitely dangerous. This one is very light, but almost like you're drinking nothing. This one has some substance to it. I can taste the wine. This is really good.
Thank you.
I love it. And so how did you decide on this color? Like, this is the color that you were looking for?
So I'm a little, neurotic when it comes to the colors. We literally sit there basically and watch. And
God,
it does change a little bit, so you know what's going, you know it's going to get a little deeper as you pull it out. So it is, learning each vintage of how long to keep it on the skins and what's going to happen.
Do we have to drink rosé in the year that it was bottled?
No.
Okay.
No. In fact, there are some regions in France that are like aged rosés. It is such a myth about rosé that you have to drink it in the year that it is released. Okay, yes, most of the wines in the United States, United States, not even just rosé, are consumed within 48 hours after purchasing it. We do like our wine, right? But rosés can sit, they can age. It doesn't need to, you don't need to drink it as soon as you bring it home.
And what does that do to the taste and the color?
Well, a lot of the rosés, all three of these are under screw cap, so they are not really being exposed to oxygen, so they're going to stay the way they are. The reason why people think that you have to drink rosé so quickly is because we think about those red Bordeaux wines and all of that tannic structure that is in there. So all of those tannins, that drying stuff, that helps to age a wine.
Okay.
Where this doesn't have that because we're not on the skins for that long. But generally speaking, they do have the acid, and that's the backbone, that's the structural backbone to wine. So they can lie down. I'm not going to say I'm going to recommend drinking our wine, 10 years from now, but it definitely doesn't need to be that next year. 2 years, 3 years is perfectly fine.
Okay, well, good. Then we can stock up, when you come out with your 400 cases, we could definitely stock up. Where can we find your wines?
So all three of these wines are very much boutique. Okay, so all three are actually located in downtown downtown Paso Robles.
Okay.
So if you come to Paso, you can just walk around, and
Yeah.
we are within about a 3-block radius of each other. But we are online.
Yeah.
Actually, all 3 of them are online. And please come to the tasting room. All 3 of them, you're going to see family members at the tasting room, and you get to talk to them.
Well, I think that makes the wine taste a little better when you know the story behind it, or you know, somebody told you something about this, and you have that little piece of it. Well, thank you so much. I loved all of it. Dracaena was my favorite. That's a good one, and I'm going to come visit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Cheers,
much.
my friend.
Sláinte.
Everybody else, stay right there. We'll be right back.